Have you ever walked into a room and you're feeling really anxious, really nervous? Could be that you're getting ready to present in front of an executive team, or even larger than that, could be a big sales pitch that you're getting ready for. Today, I'm excited to talk to you about how we're going to present with power and influence. Hello, my name is DeAnna Busby-Rast, and I am the owner of a company called Authentica Group. And every day, I get to help businesses and professionals grow and develop. And like I said, today it's all about how we are showing up in rooms to present with power and influence and create action. So the first thing I want to start with are my tips when it comes to getting yourself ready to present, deliver, and close. The first thing I'm going to say is it's all about preparation. The second thing, it's all about practice. The third thing is how you are delivering your message, how you're preparing for Q&A. The fourth is how you are closing that meeting. And the fifth one that I think is incredibly important is, are you reflecting? Are you taking the time to really take a hard look at what went well and what you would do different? So let's wrap to the very beginning. When you think it comes to preparation, this is not a joke. Preparation is actually one of the biggest pieces of presenting with power and influence. This is the time that you are learning more and more about your audience. This is where you are doing the deep dive research on who the client is, what the client's meeting or message is, what is my team expecting of me. This is all about you doing the research and really understanding your audience. We all hear the cliche quite often to put the audience as the hero. I would be here to tell you that it's not a cliche, it's real. It's so important that we put the audience in the forefront. I'm gonna give you a really quick story of something that happened recently, actually. I was doing a little role playing with one of my clients, and he was presenting to me as if I were the client. And we set the stage. I knew who I was, how big my company was, and what I was looking for from his business. We get to the end and I asked, where were we in the sales cycle? And he said, oh, well, we're like at our fourth meeting, we're ready to close. I stopped and said, we are? Then how come you didn't talk about me at all? That is one of the biggest mistakes that we can make when we are presenting. That ties to exactly the research that needs to go into what you are doing. Getting ready is a big piece of it. Now, I'm also going to talk to you about number 2, which is rehearsing. So a lot of people will skip this part. I got it. Maybe they visualized it in their mind and that is how they rehearse. I would tell you this, rehearsing is critically important to you. Why? Because you need to see and hear how you sound. And so one of the best ways that we can do that, and what a wonderful tool we have today, it's called our technology, our phones, it's right in front of us. Turn it around and video yourself. What you're looking for is, how's my eye contact? How's my pace? Am I pausing appropriately when I am speaking to my audience, when I'm presenting critical information? And how are my nonverbals? See, when we are speaking to the human race, people are not only connected to what's coming from our voice, but also what they see when we're presenting to them. So when we are clicking or hitting on really big points, then use your hand gestures appropriately. So again, number 2 is all about rehearsing, getting yourself ready so you understand what you look like in front of an audience. One more thing you can do on the rehearsal side is ask a sibling, a friend, a colleague, a significant other. Have them watch you and give you some constructive criticism. That's always a great tool as well. Number 3 is delivery. Now I will tell you, the day of delivery, it's likely you're going to have some anxiety. My husband always tells me, hey, if you're not nervous, then I think something's wrong. So it is okay to be nervous. Actually, nervous sometimes creates excellent energy for us. But I also think it's about creating routine to create calm and peace and get your mind ready. And so some people may take a nature walk. Some people may meditate. Some people might exercise. I choose to listen to jazz. It is one tool that totally relaxes me and gets me ready for that big meeting or that big presentation. So delivery first is let's get ourselves ready. Then it goes right back to what I talked about the audience. How are you going to hook them? What matters to them? When you are kicking off a presentation to that audience, you've got to figure out a way to engage with them at the very beginning. Once we do that, you're ready to rock and roll. And I want you to think about it in these three terms: beginning, middle, and end. What are you going to tell them? Tell them, and then how are you going to close it? So remember, when you are presenting, when it is delivery time, and you are nervous, or you're feeling like the audience isn't necessarily listening to you, or maybe that executive is flipping through the deck, or they're reading something on their iPhones, you know what? Find that one person in the room that is listening to you. Find a way to interject a question to re-engage that audience. When you're delivering, it's your job to keep them going, to keep them active, to keep them interested. So delivery is about finding you, remember beginning, middle, and end, keeping them engaged. Fourth is your closure. Closure is so important, and it doesn't matter whether I'm in a meeting or whether I'm in a big sales presentation. It is all about making sure that you're creating action, because here's what I'm going to tell you. Dropping the mic and walking out with no action means that nothing's going to happen. So when you want to create action, this is about what the next steps are. What was the call to action? What is it that you need from that person? So if it's a big sales pitch, are you ready to ask the hard question? What do I need to do to get your business? Has this presentation helped move the needle forward? Ask the question to get the movement. The other thing is, all tied into closure, is that follow through. So one more thing I want to let you know, that when you're presenting, and it's likely going to happen, is you're going to get an oddball question. You're going to get that question that you don't have the answer to. And I will tell you this, how you keep your credibility is by saying you don't know. And it is okay not to know everything. It is okay to say, you know what, I'm going to get back with you. I'm going to follow up on that. I was on a podcast a couple years ago, and somebody had asked me, you know, DeAnna, what would help, how would you define your success in sales? I mean, what was it that helped you be so successful? And you know, after everything I thought about, to me, it was all about integrity and credibility. And that meant my ability to be honest and follow through with my clients. And I did that every opportunity that I had. Whether the meeting went great or the meeting didn't go great, or I had great news or I didn't have great news, it was all about having the conversations and following through. Okay, so my last piece of advice when it comes to presenting with power and influence and really wrapping it together is this is all about you. You know, we've talked about the fact that the hero in the room is the audience, but at the end of the day, you're the one that put the content together. You're the one that was delivering the message. So how about we spend a little bit of time with just you and we reflect. We talk about, in your own mind, what went well and what didn't. Write it down on a piece of paper, the pros, the cons. Because when we do that, that's how we perfect the next presentation. There is not going to be one presentation that hits every single mark that you want. So every opportunity that you have to reflect, take advantage of it. What you did well, what you did differently, or you wanted to do differently. The other thing is, if you're in a meeting and you've got a colleague or a trusted partner, ask their opinion as well. That's another great way to capture reflection and know what you did well and what you didn't. So I leave you with this. Presenting with power and influence, everybody has the ability to do it. Remember that it takes preparation, it takes practice, it takes delivery, it takes closing, and it takes reflection. I really appreciate each of you following this particular episode. And in fact, if you found this episode helpful, I would love if you could share it with somebody who might be entering into a big meeting or is going to enter into a big speaking event. So if you found this information useful, then I would ask that you click the link in my channel and let's get a quick 30-minute call scheduled. One more thing, if you know somebody that is entering into a big presentation, they've got some nerves going on, I'd ask you to go ahead and share this video with them. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next one.